Tallstar's Revenge. Chapter 20. Is it true? Barkpaw lifted his head from the spring that bubbled just outside the camp wall. You're becoming a tunneler. Tallpaw padded down the slope and stopped beside him. Dawnstripe's asking how to start right now. He crouched at the water's edge. Finding Barkpaw here had surprised him. Barkpaw had grown used to the medicine apprentice avoiding him whenever he could. They'd hardly spoken in the quarter moon since Sandgrass's death. Tallpaw wasn't sure if because they were both lost in grief or because Barkpaw blamed him for Breckenwing's death. He didn't dare ask. Barkpaw held a dripping wad of moss from the spring. You don't have to do this, you know. I want to. Tallpaw dipped his head and began lapping at the cool, fresh water. Barkpaw sat down, letting the moss drain beside him. Why? Tallpaw flicked his tail. I don't expect you to understand. You were doing so well with your training. Barkpaw tipped his head on one side, and you loved being a moor runner. I love tunneling too. Tallpaw sat up, water dripping from his chin. Even Shoepaw was impressed by your hunting skill. Barkpaw didn't seem to be listening to anything Tallpaw said, though he'd never admit it. This is something I have to do. Tallpaw licked his lips. For my father's sake. But you're not Sandgrass! Barkpaw leaned forward. You don't have to live his life for him just because he's dead. That's not what I'm doing, Tallpaw growled under his breath. Barkpaw's gaze burned into Tallpaw's. You think you'll feel better if you follow his wishes, don't you? Tallpaw looked away. The clan needs more tunnelers more than ever. It's my duty to follow in Sandgrass's paw steps. It's your duty to be the best where you can, for your clan, Barkpaw argued. And you could have been the best moor runner ever. I can be the best tunneler ever. Barkpaw turned and bounded up. Tallpaw turned and bounded up the bank. This won't bring Sandgrass back, you know, Barkpaw called after him. I know that. This is about me, not him. Tallpaw marched back to camp, pelt twitching. Why can't Barkpaw try to understand? Hey, Wormpaw. Truepaw was waiting inside the camp entrance. I hear you're going to train where you belong. At last. Tallpaw shrugged. Relieved that you don't have any competition anymore. Weaselpaw. Rena trotted across the clearing. Arguing again, Tallpaw? He started it, Tallpaw bristled. Shrewpaw glanced at Rena. Tallpaw would argue with his reflection in the spring, he sniffed. I can't wait to train without him snarling at me. Tallpaw unsheathed his claws. Let all cats old enough to catch prey gather beneath Tall Rock. The star's call made. Tallpaw spun around. Was he going to announce his new mentor? Excitement rippled through his pelt. Would she choose Woollytail? Sandgrass would be pleased to see his old friend training Tallpaw. Tallpaw raced for the meeting hall, leaping down to the sandy earth as his clanmates streamed across the clearing to join him. Tallpaw watched. Dawnstripe sheathed and unsheathed her claws as she sat opposite him. Her eyes round with worry. Don't be upset. Tallpaw felt a prick of guilt. Please understand that I have to do this. Heatherstar leaped to the edge of the rock. Meadowslip's kids have brought new life to Winkland. Let us pray that Hopkit, Sorrelkit, and Pigeonkit grow into strong, healthy warriors. Murmurs of approval rippled through the clan. Tallpaw lifted his chin. Me next. One clan leader caught his eye, her shoulders stiffening. Tallpaw paused. Is she angry about my change of heart? One clan, Heatherstar began. You know have known for some time that I have had doubts about our tunneling. What is she talking about? Plumeclaw hissed. Hush! Hickory Nose stared up at their leader. Tallpaw has asked to train as a tunneler, Heatherstar went on. I only admire his loyalty to the memory of his father. Sandgrass's head shook as well. We will grieve him for many moons to come. She glanced sympathetically at Halbert. Tallpaw's wish to learn skills that led to his father's death shows true courage. Tallpaw patted forward expectantly. However, the sharpening words of Heatherstar's mew made him stop. I have thought long and hard, the Wind Clan leader went on, and I have decided that there will be no more tunneling for Wind Clan. Tallpaw blinked. What? This is not a decision I take lightly, but I hope many of you will support me. Reed at the base of the rocks nodded solemnly. Aspenfall and Cloudrunner exchanged approving looks. We do not need tunnels, Heatherstar explained. Prey has run above ground for many leaf bears. We improved our hunting skills, learned to work in teams. Even in the harshest weather, we've been able to catch prey above ground. Plumecaw's tail whipped over the sandy earth. Heatherstar pressed on. Wind Clan's tunneling skills have served us well for countless moons. But a new dawn is coming. Our more running skills are more important. We have enemies to fight above ground, and we must fight them. We can't hide in our tunnels and hope they will go away. We must train hard and become warriors to equal any clan. She lifted her muzzle. It will take time and effort, but we will become stronger than Wind Clan has ever been. In moons to come, the other clans will fear us. Excuse me? They fear us already, Plumecaw yelled. You saw Stoneteeth when Shadow Clan attacked. Heatherstar's gaze fixed on the dark ground, the dark gray tunnel. He spoke as though we were vermin to be cleared out from the moor. They think of us as rabbits, Red Claw growled. Aspenfall cloud ears. We must prove that we are warriors. What about our tunneling skills, Bullytail growled. They won't be forgotten, Heatherstar promised. Our tunnelers won't have to retrain as more runners. Their duty now will be to block all tunnels, making them safe for future generations of Wind Clan cats. Block them? Plumeclaw stared at her in amusement. What about our hard work digging them? I don't want to lose another cat in those tunnels, Heatherstar insisted. And no more cats will train as tunnelers. Ever. Rage surged through Tallpaw. How could she deny his entire future? Then Sandgrass died for nothing, he hissed. Hickory Nose padded forward and soothed Tallpaw's bristling belt with his tail. Not for nothing, Tallpaw, he meowed gently. His death will be the last in the tunnels. Tallpaw stared at him. You sound like you want to stop tunneling. Hickory Nose glanced at the nursery. I don't want my kids to die like Sandgrass. He dropped his gaze. Or leaf shine, he added, remembering the tunneler who died in the same accident that had crippled Lily Whisker. But I'll tell him of my days in the tunnels and make sure that Wind Clan remembers what we achieved. Mist Mouse nodded. Stage Leap, Dosebring, and Restock are happy as Moors. Our young deserve to run with the wind in their tails. Our days of hiding are over, Cloudrunner declared. Hiding? This belief flooded Woollytail's gaze. Cloudrunner only meant it's time we faced the world with our heads held high, Larksplash. Larksplash paced around him. Once every cat in Wind Clan has battle skills, we'll be the strongest clan of all. She glanced up at the sky. The thick bank of cloud had reached the sun. Spray spilled over the edge. For a moment before the clouds swallowed them, we live closest to Star Clan. We will make our ancestors proud. Wind Clan! Shrewpaw began to cheer. Wind Clan! Aspenfall joined in. Wind Clan! Wind Clan! Starpot stared in shock at his clanmates as his clanmates cheered for the end of the tunnels. Woollytail backed away from them. From the rim of the hollow, the roaches watched, their pelts prickling in surprise. Sparrow's eyes were thin yellow slits. Tallpaw showed his teeth. You started this when you killed Sandgrass. You spoiled everything. Tallpaw. Palebird's mew startled him. He jerked around and met her gaze, a muzzle length from his. I'm glad you can't become a tunneler, but it's what Sandgrass would have wanted. He wouldn't have wanted you to die as he did, Tallpaw. Palebird reached forward and touched her nose to his cheek. I can't bear to lose another cat I love. Tallpaw stared at his mother in confusion. He couldn't remember the last time Palebird had told him that she loved him. He had been so ecstatic that but Tallstar snatched away his dream. And all around him his clan was cheering. Had everyone gone mad? He scrambled out of the meeting hall and raced out of the camp, crashing through Heather. No one can stop me from being what I was born to be. He pelted up slope to where the warren where Woollytail had helped them catch a rabbit. Sheep was grazing the moorland, nowhere beyond. They haven't blocked the tunnels yet. The rising wind ripped at Tallpaw's fur. Rain began to spray his muzzle. It hardened as he climbed, lashing his pelt by the time he reached the warren. I'll teach myself to tunnel, like shattered ice. Tallpaw started at the first rabbit hole he reached and stared into the darkness. A worm of fear stirred in his belly, and his breath quickened as he remembered suffocating closeness of the walls and the roar of the river chasing him. Every hair on his pelt bristled. Don't go down there. He pushed himself out. I will be a tunneler. I'll make Sandgrass proud of me. He dove into the tunnel and scrambling to push himself through the narrow gap. Oh, no, you don't. Teeth clamped around his tail, pulled and held him backward. Dawnstripe dragged him from the rabbit hole, her eyes blazing. Those tunnels are out of bounds, she spat. Didn't you hear Tallstar? I don't care. Rain battered in his ears. You're going to be a moor runner, Dawnstripe yelled over the rising wind, and I'm going to be your mentor until you get your warrior name. Tallpaw glimpsed two pelts streaking toward them. Is he okay? Hairflight called through the rain. Shrewpaw raced past his mentor and skidded to a stop on the grass. Poor Tallpaw, he snorted. Why won't Tallstar let you become a wormpaw? Not toward the entrance. Why not go down there anyway? You know you were born to live on the ground. Shrewpaw! Dawnstripe glared at the apprentice. Show some respect to your clanmates. Hairflight joined them. Stop teasing him, Shrewpaw. This has gone beyond teasing. Dawnstripe snapped. If Shrewpaw were my apprentice, I'd claw his ears. Shrewpaw flung a scorching look at Dawnstripe. Why are you siding with the tunneler? Hairflight paced around Tallpaw. You shouldn't have ran out in the middle of a clan meeting, he fretted. You worried everyone. Tallpaw's ears flattened his ears. No one's worried about me. I killed Brackenwing. Thrust his nose toward Shrewpaw. Remember? A growl rumbled in Shrewpaw's throat. The visitors will think we can't control our apprentices, Hairflight went on. Tallpaw turned on him. Who cares what that bunch of roses thinks, he hissed. Did they had any sense of honor, they'd have left after they killed Sandgrass. Dawnstripe lashed her tail. No one killed Sandgrass. You're harebrained, Shrewpaw snarled. You're an embarrassment to WindClan with your dumb accusation. Nobody likes you. You should go underground. We won't miss you. Blood roared in Tallpaw's ears. He lunged for Shrewpaw. Sinking his claws into his shoulders, he rolled the apprentice onto the soaking grass. Shrewpaw yelled, scrambling at Tallpaw's belly with his hind claws. Tallpaw raked his denmate's muzzle, sending blood spraying across the grass. Before jaws closed around his neck fur and hauled him up, as Dawnstripe dropped him Tallpaw shook out his pole. Hairflight was holding Shoepaw back by the scruff. Tallpaw! Dawnstar's eyes were brown with shock. You can't attack your clanmate, no matter how he provokes you. She pointed her muzzle towards the sheep. Go and use out the rest of your anger collecting wool for the elders. Tallpaw stomped away, and his pelt spiking as rain lashed it. His belly churned. Nobody likes you. We won't miss you. Well, guys, that's the end of chapter 20. I have been Muse423. Thank you for listening. What will happen now that all the tunnels are forced to be blocked off? What is Sandgrass thinking? Comment, like, subscribe, bye, and I am so sorry about not having a chapter on Saturday. I got too lazy. I got so distracted with spring break and trying to get some hunts done. I forgot all about it until it was too late. Comment, like, subscribe, bye.